And we are live. Hello, everybody. And everybody, hello. I have the international team here with the Canadian and Australian. What is happening? What are we doing tonight, gentlemen?
Oh, we're back for Bad Batch Slight Bitch Fest.
This is your favorite thing in the world to talk about Bad Batch. I can't talk you out of it. Every time you're like, can we get back to talking about Bad Batch, please?
I know it took the halfway point for Craig to finally let go and let me run a review this again.
All right. So, yeah, Bad Batch it is. We're doing, what is it, 4 through 6?
4 through 8.
4 through 8.
Covering what we didn't. So we're covering what we did not cover already up to the halfway point of the series. What basically last week was the 2 episodes we're covering.
All right, well, let's get into it. Hold on. All right, and let's just kick it off. Okay, episode 4.
Yeah. Faster.
Name rank.
The episode's faster. It's about the the racing. Kachun, you want to start us off?
It was all about Tick. Tick and Omega.
As a person from that quadrant of the planet, does she ever get on your nerves with the
always
accent?
gets on my nerves. The way she sneaks around, you're like, oh, dang it. What is she up to, man?
I mean, we'll probably say this on every episode that she's appears on, is like, it just is annoying that
it takes you out of it. It takes you out of the entire thing.
It takes you out of it, but also, like, she has all these people here. This should be a very serious thing. These are mercenaries. They kill people. Well, not anymore, apparently. Since we have Omega now, we stun everyone. But I get it, because they don't want to hurt their brothers. I get that. And she, like, does not learn a lesson. I don't understand what the point of her story arc is. I really don't. Like, it feels like you're going to have this moment where she's young, she grew up with them, and she's going to be a powerful ally in the future to somebody. But she's not learning any lessons. She keeps sticking her hand in the same damn cookie jar, and it keeps getting slapped every time. And she's like, oh, I'll try it again, I guess. This episode was weird because the first issue I had with it right away is if droids can pilot pod racers, or in this case, it was something else, but can power.
It was weird because it wasn't a pod racer and it wasn't a swoop bike, which are the two like racing.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
It's a different one now.
But if droids can do it, then why in the world would you ever have a meat bucket or meat bag? Like, why? There's no way they're not faster. They can take more damage. Something happens. They don't get hurt. They have faster reflexes. So I would think droids would be banned immediately. Like, why would you ever have a droid why would you not have a droid? I mean, that seemed weird to me that they had a droid.
Either it would only be droids or it would only be people, like one or the other.
And I mean, obviously, you can't, in this new Bad Batch, you can't hurt people. So I guess they needed a plot device. So you can rip a robot into half in 16 different ways, but you can't do it to a biological. So let's have that situation happen.
Yeah. Did you, by chance, did you get that clip of Kachun from the of Omega?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Next time. I was gonna say, that episode annoyed me. I was just sitting there bored out of my mind. Everything that was happening, you could tell was gonna happen. It was kind of just uninteresting to me. The racing wasn't even that like exciting. It was just pretty much just bland. Yeah, it was just not after episode 3 being like the highlight at the beginning of the series. It was definitely a big downturn.
I mean, yeah, I don't know the point other than the end when they're like, be careful of that one, boys. You don't really know who you're dealing with. But I feel like that could have been done in an argument at a bar. You know what I mean? Like, he could have came and visited and caused a little bit of problem at the bar and then said the same thing. You don't know who you're dealing with. So I feel like that whole thing was set up. And like, you could see it the whole way through, right? Like, nothing was shocking. Nothing was stunning. Oh, they're going to race. Somehow our favorite Bad Batch guys are going to be involved in this race. Like, it was so silly that I kind of don't even see the point. Like the fact that they didn't put Omega in the racing pod to me was shocking. Like I thought for sure they're going to put her in
If that happened, I was going to turn it off. I was saying, my friend, to be honest, it was a really slow day at work, and I watched the episode at work with my friend who.
Hey! You hope nobody, your bosses watch this show.
Hey! Your friend's going to probably watch it. At work, I watched with a friend. As you're watching, I said to him, "I swear to the Lord, if Omega gets in that pod or that vehicle right now, I'm turning off the Disney Plus." And Tech got into it. I'm like, okay, that was my second best.
All right. So, what was your thoughts on this episode, Kachung?
I did like that Tech got a bit of a front seat. I do like him. He's not my favorite. Echo's my favorite, but he's probably my second favorite. But
we'll get into
that
later.
Yeah, and I also thought it was nice that they kind of expanded on it a little bit. It's one thing to say like he has like computer like reflexes and speed, but it's another thing for him to be able to like use that so fast that you can see that he can make adjustments on the track, and maybe that's another reason that they even have the episode. We'll just show his abilities because, as we're going to say in the future, there's a reason maybe for it.
Who flies that ship? Is it him?
Yeah,
it's him. Yeah, it is him.
Yeah, I think most of the time it's him.
When they arrive in Coruscant, he's flying the ship.
Okay.
So.
A lot of times Hunter's not around unless they need a plot device, and then he walks. Because it doesn't really have anything
He needs someone
to do.
to get permission slips.
He's plotting.
He's the fluffer. Other than that, we kind of just got some information that our friendly lizard there is used to be shady, used to be dirty, backhanded.
Big surprise.
Yeah, and I don't know why that was needed because she's never hid the fact that she's a low down, dirty. Like that's our whole reason for being. So I was a little bit confused as to why they feel like they need to really hammer that home that she might have something underhanded going on, because I've always assumed that she was underhanded, so I don't know why that's
I guess
needed.
They forgot people watched season 1.
Probably soon by the ratings, no one watched season 1.
Yeah. All in all, I would give it a 3.
Oh yeah.
Here's why it's bad, because my whole loving of things have changed, right? Because I can be disappointed. All right, so I'm assuming I'm coming from a point of disappointment. Did it do anything to offend me or outrage me? Not really. So that takes you back up to a 5 right there. That's a 5. So I'm gonna start with 5
more. Yeah,
I'm a 5.5 or a 6 just because of the fact it didn't do anything to make me scream at the thing. I just kept saying better not. Whenever they're saying they need to erase her, I just kept saying that. And the fact they didn't go there when they could have, and almost surprising they didn't, that kicks you up another 1 or 2 points right there, just not to make that mistake.
Yeah, I had it graded 6.2.
0.2. What's the 0.2 for?
I know 0.2 is odd.
Well, because I had to make it kind of out of 100 instead. Then it's 62 out of 100. To increase the resolution between some of the better ones, and I was like, well, let me just do it for these lower grades too.
Well, if you were to do it out of 100, I could do that. I could say it's a 650, 600, 625.
600 out of 100?
30.
625 out of 1,000, or 65 out of 100, however you want to do it. Somewhere in the
It was the third worst episode so far.
Wow.
Interesting.
You know what I love? I love when you confidently said something is a third worst whenever Canadian over there thinks it's the absolute worst and there is no question. And the look on his face is so amazing because he's like, I can't wait to hear what you think another episode is.
Yeah, it's my second favorite.
It's so funny. It's bringing back the visions memories. I can't wait to review season 2. It's gonna be so fun. That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, if you love facial expressions, just go back and watch our review of that thing. That was amazing.
Because that twins one, I really liked that, and you hated
it. My favorite was the rock star, but that's beside the point.
Oh my god.
So, all right, so I think that's it. I don't think there's really much to add on that one because it was just a generic racing one. All right, so what's the next one?
Episode 5, Entombed. That is the episode where they go on with Wanda Sykes for a treasure hunt through Zypho Yeah, Zypho. Treasure.
Okay. Did they confirm that's what that was?
Yeah. Well, no, they. I don't think they said, but it's 100% looking at all the material that was there. All the writing is the exact same Zepho, and the same when they activate the I don't know what to call it, machine, Godzilla. Mecha Godzilla gets activated.
That was cool.
That's the same thing. The same light, all the lights and lettering is the same when you light up the stuff in the game. I will say, the episode for me was basically like middle of the road. I thought it was fine, but the ending, when that machine came out, I was like, that looks really cool. Yeah. And every shot they did of that machine walking around and blasting was great. I was happy with that.
So
everything else was there.
My issue with it is when you're somebody famous, and I happen to think Wanda Sykes is funny, and you don't do anything to change your voice, you just use the same mannerisms you do on your specials and things, it throws me out. I couldn't barely listen to it because all I could think of was a middle-aged woman who I think is funny, who is walking around talking to people. So the Wanda Sykes thing threw me off. Like I could not even get in. I can't get into it with her character. It's just too much. Like, I don't know. But anyways, it's kind of weird. Like I felt like I was playing a video game or something watching this. Like it didn't. Again, I don't know what the point of the episode is. Like that's 2 episodes back to back. I don't know if it's. Many episodes. Who's having internet problems now?
I was having internet problems.
Yeah. But back to back, I'm not 100% sure what lesson we learned from this.
There wasn't. There was just.
But as far as the individual episode, it was fine. I would rather not have 2 back to back, throwaway, not really. Having the story move along. If you're going to throw one away, obviously the racing one would have been the one I would have chose to throw away. Let's replace that with something else.
For the most part, when the Bad Batch are in it, it's a throwaway episode.
That's fair enough.
Again, I'm just wondering, like this is happening. We don't have Crosshair at all. It's like yeah. But basically, yeah, it's a weird one. There was no point. There was no character development or resolution to the episode. It wasn't particularly fun. So it wasn't like a fun adventure episode either. That minus the Godzilla machine.
But even the Godzilla machine,
as like from a noob perspective, like what was just that machine?
Thing we don't even know. Just some
ancient AT-AT. I have no idea what that's supposed to be.
Ancient Zepho machine. That's it.
We don't know anything about a reference to this thing out there.
Nope.
Other than it looks like he said, other than it looks like the characters from a video game, it looks like the statues they make. That's what.
Yeah. So in Legends, there's no precedent for big machinery kind of.
Honestly, if I had to guess, and this is just being as cynical as possible, they did that because they have a video game coming out, and they probably want to recall that and say, "Hey, you remember these guys from that cool video game? We have another video game come out, and let's just keep reminding you about it." Because almost instantly, as soon as I watched that, I went back and I started watching YouTube videos, and they started propping up immediately. And some of that is genuine, but some of that, Star Wars is pretty famous. Disney's pretty famous for the channels that do a lot of business with them saying, "Hey, why don't you go ahead and tell a story about this?" Like they're pretty infamous for that. So I kind of wonder if that's not why that episode was done. But I'm not mad at it. I thought it was okay episode. It was fine. It didn't do anything to irritate me. What happened? What did he say?
If a game Mega, I would get right into the puzzles, figuring out the puzzle.
Here's what I think.
Good at that.
Omega to me, it could have been annoying, but it wasn't, because it wasn't like she was like, "Hey, I'm super smart and I figured this out." Whenever there's 2 actual geniuses walking with her and a very veteran treasure hunter, it was more like, "Oh, the rock thing I'm holding shined. Oh, look at that." So I was okay. I wasn't as irritated as what I thought they were gonna do, because I was like, "Wow, they just stand around and let her do everything."
She's become really obsessed with treasure, though. Have you noticed?
Yes.
She's like, "Treasure! We can't leave you behind. We have to get it."
That's what his accent he's doing.
Right. Well, at least she's not that fascinated about dirt anymore.
Yeah, this is true.
I'm only about
but
to
yeah,
watch
the
it
giant
now.
ancient walking death machine was fun. I just don't know the point. Like, I don't know why it was there in the first place. And now that you've exposed it and burned up half that planet, I don't know, what does that mean? Are the poor people who live on that planet just don't care now that there's a giant?
Oh, sorry, it was uninhabited, they said. But the one thing I really laughed about was the fact at the end they're like, well, what are we gonna do now? Because we have to leave it in there for the like thing that to be deactive. What happens if someone comes through and they're just like they're like, oh, well, and they leave.
They leave.
All right, so let's go into the rating. What is the rating, Kachung? What'd you give this one?
So with the death machine, 5.4, 54. I would have given it a like low 3s. Otherwise, it wasn't.
So this is worse than the racing episode for you.
Oh yeah,
with a death machine. Interesting.
That's weird.
Look at him! Look at him! Look at him! He's eternally on fire right now.
I was gonna give it a 5 as well, middle of the road, because of the machine was pretty fun, and it did look, honestly, the episode did look good, like shot well when that happened. After that point, but yeah, I would have given it probably the same as the racing one.
Yeah, I'm giving it the same as the racing one. Like, I would have knocked it down because of Wanda Sykes throwing me off, but I actually like her, so I'm glad that she got a little Star Wars love. So it's fine, but like it really threw me off. And if it wasn't, if like I hated her, it was like, oh, that's a 4, just because I couldn't even like. And her character was just obnoxious. Like these are freaking murdering sons of guns here.
Hey,
we're like,
guy, come over here.
They're like, hey, brown let's over here. And it's like,
hey, tattoo.
Yeah, so I'd say the same as the other one. Nothing too crazy. All right, well, let's just keep going then. What's the next episode?
Episode 6, The Tribe. That is the episode featuring Gungi, the Wookiee Jedi, and then bringing him back to Kashyyyk to be welcomed to Trandoshan hunters. Another good episode, actually, in general.
Yeah, it was not a bad episode at all. I thought it was pretty good. It was interesting to see that part. It's also something. It's weird to me though. This whole story's always been weird to me with the lizard people in the
hunting Wookiees
and the Wookiees, because Wookiees are supposed to be badasses who rip your arm off if you talk, but yet these lizard people who half the time they come off as dumb, like they always have them as like not really knowing what's going on. Like,
don't bring up Book of Boba Fett when you say this.
So I'm just curious as to like how they're able to basically conquer the Wookiees everywhere they go. They're like 100 Wookiee pelts to the person who brings them, and I'm just like, how are you able to even get 100 Wookiee pelts? Like I've always been kind of confused by that. But I think it's just because they haven't done well with representing
trackers, and
yeah. I just think that's why they just haven't done a good job with them.
Maybe there's more of them. I don't know, because Wookiees seem to have good technology too.
Yeah. It's just I would just probably say the Trandoshans are probably just expert trackers and hunters, right? So just using that to their advantage.
But then when they need them to be a part of the plot, they suddenly become bumbling idiots who fall in their own traps. That's my as
they should, you know.
I would rather them be less of them and be super, super dangerous and smart and not fall for anything than there'd be more of them and they're just like running into each other and stuff. Like that just seems kind of silly, because I don't know how you would conquer the Wookiees basically if that was the case.
Yeah. I would say I did enjoy the episode. It was nice seeing, it was nice seeing Gungi. Gungi was pretty good. I mean, and like all the stuff in the episode was fun. Like you going back to Kashyyyk. I did find it really interesting that already that the Trandoshans are technically working alongside the clones and Empire to, eradicate like Wookiees, and they're kind of like on a base-to-base basis, right?
Yeah, I kind of like that actually, because that tells me it makes sense, right? Like if you're an empire and you need to get rid of people fast, what better way? This is something they've done throughout history. Nobody wants a history lesson from me, but this is something that people have done throughout history. Both the English and the Americans use native tribes to help, further their cause. And so like that's actually makes sense to me. It's like what better way to get rid of the Wookiees if there's no way you're going to get to agree to come to the empire than go over to lizard people who always could use a dime, and they sure love their Wookiee pelts. And then you can have them do all your dirty work while you sit back and watch them fight because you don't care about them. So that was kind of interesting. The only thing that I'm getting concerned about, and it's something I've always been concerned about all the way back to the Rebels, if you're going to pretend like people in the universe doesn't know what a Jedi is, You can't have every planet has one surviving Jedi. You can't keep doing this. You're gonna have a Jedi problem because in the future people think, what is that? I've never heard of that. Oh, that's just rumors. That's silliness. And it's like, okay, but so suddenly every planet has at least one Jedi survivor who's doing nice things for people. So it makes it seem like it's gonna be hard to keep selling this to people if you keep having
the Inquisitors show up with lightsabers and kill.
I did like him though. I thought he was cool. I thought he fit a good thing. He's cute. Maybe he can go over to the kiddo show they're trying to do or something. Like, thought he was a cute little character. I thought it actually was pretty sad because you know how the Wookiees are, and we like Wookiees, and you were seeing how bad it was getting for them. Also, it kind of, I feel like they could have been even darker with it. I think they probably should have, but we have Omega in the episode.
There were very early stages of what happened with Kashyyyk, right? Like, we haven't gotten to the point where they've been totally.
I think if this was Bad Batch without Omega, I know, calm down. It's just a theory. If this is Bad Batch with Omega, I think you would have seen the fact that he probably couldn't have stayed with the Wookiees. Because anywhere he goes, they're going to burn them out trying to get him. Once they fuck, because he's going to keep getting found out that he's a Jedi. He can't help himself. Yeah. And they're going to keep burning him. So technically, that's probably what should have happened. He probably went to like 3 different villages. They all got murdered, and he has to leave. He can't stay there. And that's the sad part. And that's probably what should have happened. But not with Omega, Bad Batch. We're all going to be happy at the end. But yeah, I like that. I thought it was a great episode. I thought it was cool. It was sad, and it showed you what they're having to do. But again, like I said, I just get concerned about the number of witnesses to Jedi activities that we don't hear about in the future movies a little bit.
Yeah, I really agree.
All right. So what are you guys' what did you think about it, Kachung, actually?
I was going to ask, yeah.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed seeing him. You know, she had to team up with him.
You knew that was happening.
Just like in probably almost every episode she's in, she's got to team up with someone
and make the wrong decision.
Yeah,
every time.
You know,
but what did end up happening to Kashyyyk? Like I'm trying to.
Well, essentially they got enslaved, right? And then they got shipped. Like the Wookiees kept getting shipped off to different places for mining, like Kessel and such.
Because it doesn't show up, does it, in the other movies and shows after this point? Or does it?
Jedi Fallen Order has Kashyyyk there with Saw Gerrera helping try and revolt and relieve and like stop some stuff. Otherwise, yeah, I can't think like
Han Solo. The Solo story, they had a bunch of them in that cave getting.
Yeah, but in Kessel, but not Kashyyyk.
Yeah, that's still pre New Hope,
pre Stormtroopers.
Oh, absolutely,
yeah.
And I always felt like the way they were trying to make it out to be, they were kind of rare. They weren't like a species you found on every planet.
Yeah,
so I'm assuming the story is
nature. Like they said in the thing that the trees are like their god and their life force. That like, you know, so they get shipped off to a planet that's all just machinery. They probably wouldn't want to be there.
Yeah,
forced there. So what would you give it?
They swing a sledgehammer real good, so they put them to work.
And they live a long time.
Yes, they actually have a. What is it about? Like 200 to 300 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
What would you give it, Kachun?
What was it?
I gave it a 79.
Okay.
And I have in my notes Omega's moral compass batch. Because they just seem to.
Oh yeah, this is the episode where there's the picture you showed where her lurking around and you're like, I can't handle it.
Right. That was at the start. She just took off, sneaking around. I was like, here we go. This is gonna be bad. But it ended up being pretty good.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'd say if I had the other ones at like a 60, this would be in the 70 range for me. It's a not but it's, you know, I always say that I get concerned about stuff, and my concerns usually always end up happening to a certain extent. And I'm still, what are you gonna do? Like I think they did some clever writing in Rebels to disappear Ezra and some other stuff, but now you're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna bring that back around. So it's an interesting decision that you're gonna have to make.
Yeah.
I mean, even in that game that we keep talking about, there's 2 Jedi right there flying around in a ship together. So it's like,
yes, that's true.
fighting brothers and sisters of the Order or whatever of Vader's group, and so like it's not. I don't know. But anyways, so what did you think of it? Or rating?
I would say about the same. Probably 7. Like it was a good episode. Obviously, some weird things, but like honestly, it's just a good episode. A lot better than most. So.
We cannot be disappointed, so it does not matter.
Now, speaking of not disappointed, the next 2 episodes were released together. So, yes.
Well, let's go over that first one. What is the title, name, and recognition here?
Episode 7, The Clone Conspiracy. Oh. Fantastic episode.
Why do you think that might be?
I don't know. Maybe because it's interesting.
There was no Omega.
It's interesting. It features some pretty cool characters, returning characters who have new development and are interesting. Good fan service that's not overwhelming, and no Bad Batch and Omega.
Mostly the Omega part. Absolutely, we have a grown
up.
Tell
me why the 2 episodes that do not feature the Bad Batch or Omega have the best episodes so
every
far.
Time,
and it's pretty fun. So. Yeah, the Clone Conspiracy. Honestly, I was so happy with that episode, seeing the clone bar, having the funness with them all talking about, like, you know, what happened with Rampart. Seeing those 2 characters return from the episode in season 1. That was where they were the ones who, you know, pressed the button to bombard the planet.
Yeah.
They were the 2 guys. Yep, they were the 2 ones at the command that were like, really? We're doing this? And Rampart told them to do it. Honestly, great episode. I was very happy with it. Yeah. Where did you guys
I have a question for you guys. There has been rumors that Daddy Lucas has been involved. Whispers, little quakes in the force, if you will. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we have a whole bunch of politics thrown in there. We know how Daddy Lucas loves his politics. So I was interested in it because I was like, oh, here we go. We're gonna have some boring parts, and end up not being. And I was wondering.
It was the most interesting scene in the Senate.
Yeah, it was. It was very interesting.
Republic is probably the most interesting things because how it's fun seeing, like, as we see in the episode, the banking clan and the other ones that are there from the separatist parties who are now with the Empire, and they're like woefully just agreeing with the Empire the whole time.
Yeah. But I do think it's cool. I do like how they touched on, because like I said, right now what I want out of my Star Wars is let me know what the other people are doing, not just the laser wizards. Like, tell me what other people are doing. And the fact that these clones are doing this. And also what I do like about it, one of the issues I had, if you go back and look at the previous episodes we talked about, was what are you doing with the clones? You can't have them all just suddenly going, oh, this isn't right. And I think because you can have a few, right? There's always going to be a percentage of people that fail. Every computer has a percentage fails. But when it's like time after time after time, this isn't a good clone follows orders. This is like weird. Like, we're killing each other and we're doing stuff. And so I like that they did that, where it's still, there's just a few people saying this isn't right at all. Like, this is some stuff, and it's, you know, it's hurting our actual, you know, clone brothers. So I did like that. I did like that they had their own bar, and they're like whispering, and they're like, "Shut up," and all this kind of stuff.
The bar coming back is amazing. It's my favorite.
And I did like how these are clones, man. They're Jango Fett, and yet they know what they're doing is scary. Like, they were not thrilled about having to talk, because they know that, you know, I ain't gonna make it out of this, you know, alive or whatever. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought this was a great episode. I think I ignored, sorry if you called the store, because I think I ignored at least 2 or 3 phone calls. I didn't even bother picking up the phone. I usually pause and say, how can I help you? And this time I just ignored all the phone calls. It's okay. The wife doesn't want this anyway. But all right. So what? Go ahead.
I was asking Kachun what he thought before I brought.
I'm a little worried about what Kachun thinks here, because we have a glitch in the matrix here.
He's glitching out. Oh no,
a moment with my internet.
You know what would be funny is if every time we do this, the wife is like outside the house, is wiggling the little cord. She's like, thinks he's gonna talk to his little friends. I don't think so.
So the assassin was neat. I like the assassin.
I was gonna bring that up. That I thought it was Crosshair, but obviously not. And it was interesting. I'm really wondering what they're going to be doing with that going forward.
So, I read somewhere that someone's theory was it's Slick from the very first season of Clone Wars, Hidden Enemy. I think it's episode 16. I looked it up. Episode 16.
I don't know.
And
Slick. What happened to Slick?
he was giving information to the Empire.
Oh yes, he was
yeah.
He was the. I love that episode. That's the one where Cody and Rex are trying to find out who's the traitor in the barracks.
Yep.
Oh, that's my favorite ones. Oh my
so
God.
It would be pretty cool if it was him, even though he,
episode 16. You were right. Yeah.
Bites his tooth and that's it. But
yeah, don't forget that he's what is the meaning of this? He's like, how about I'm just a true believer in shock?
I love the cyanide electro pill. That was amazing. I was like,
The only thing that made me mad about that episode is it really bothered me because I feel like this is what we were supposed to be getting right now, and instead we have to keep cutting in with fucking playground time. You know what I mean? Like it was the only part that bothered me. Like we should be getting, I'm a true believer, and we're gonna find out what happened to clones, and then a few seconds later you hear playground music, and they'll make him skipping by, going, "What happens when I push this button?" Like it's just it's the only part that bothered me.
She presses the button.
It's that was a really interesting thing. I liked it. Again, like I said, I was a little happy that when Rex took Chuchi down there, that he's like, oh, the friends who own this garage are not here. I was very happy not to see that.
Yeah.
But what'd you think of Chuchi, by the way? Her coming back from
what friends was he? What friends' place was he talking about?
The twins, the Martinez sisters, who were also in Bad Batch season 1 because they couldn't help themselves.
Yeah.
Right. They were Ahsoka's friends, right? Because she got her thing fixed.
As soon as he said I have friends close by, I was like, "This, don't
do it. Don't ruin the best episode.
I was like, don't do this. Don't do this."
Wait, what'd you think of Chuchi? I really liked her in this episode. And
I heard her accent and I was like, oh, a blue Omega. Here we go. But
so I wanted to look back at that to double check. She has the accent in the first in Clone Wars. She has the same accent.
Okay.
So they carried it on. So it wasn't like a new edition.
You know the part that I liked? I like that you have somebody who is maybe not completely inside the inner loop of the conspiracy that we know about. She just wants to make sure people are taken care of. Yeah. So our king of all Senate conspiracy guys is like over their shoulder, sniffing around. Yeah. Oh, Bell. No, he's just doing a little sniff around. And she goes, somebody wants to meet you. He's like, who is it? He's standing there. He's like, hey, it's in the neighborhood.
Did you like that alleyway? Like what level of Coruscant were they on?
No, he's like, they're in the alleyway. Two like overly dressed, people are in the alleyway, just like, so what can I do for you? I just out here looking at the flowers. What have you been up to? Like it was so like awesome that I just really enjoyed that because it showed you that there was like one of the reasons why he probably had to get rid of the Senate because there was probably it wasn't one giant conspiracy. There were probably groups of people who didn't like what their part was or whatever their thing was, and they didn't necessarily all talk to each other like that. It was just a lot of little fires, probably.
Yeah.
I liked that she didn't really have fear. She just faced off with Rampart without any fear, and I think she's a good addition to the Senators.
Yeah. What's the name of
probably?
What's the name of Emperor's right hand?
So I was gonna bring up two other things that I liked. One was quickly the pension, trying to get pensions for the clones, which is pretty fun.
Right.
The clones are like, yeah, we're gonna retire and get pensions. But the other thing was so Maz Amada was
I can never say his name. Always like
So while I can't remember, I'm pretty sure it's the same kind of way like how the German Senate worked, where there's a chancellor and they're their prime minister, basically. So he was like the second. He was like the the second in command for the Senate, like Speaker of the House for you guys.
Yeah, something like that. I would think.
He's the Speaker of the House for the U.S. and I actually liked seeing him and him actually having dialogue.
I was gonna say that's like the most we've ever had him talking, and he was strangely polite but strangely scary too, because he was like, "Don't make me talk to you again. Like, let's not have this conversation."
Yeah, I really enjoyed him there. I was happy to see him because I was expecting him in Andor, but we didn't get too much Senate, so him being here was pretty fun.
Yeah,
I liked it because I was like, I've always wondered like how deep does he go, like how far down the rabbit hole does he know about? Yeah. And this episode made it pretty clear that no, he's been there when the Emperor got his clothes off taking a shower. He knows all the warts.
So he knows Vader probably.
Oh, yeah, because we had like Slime Moore. We knew about her from the comics, how deep she's gone, but him not much. So nice new developments with this character.
Yeah, because he's not like, okay, we got to do this for the betterment of the Empire. He is like basically saying, you know what's going to happen to you if you don't get this done. I don't care what happens. If you got to murder her, get this job done. Like, get it done. So, like, he's in it. Yeah. He's in it fully.
But yeah, so ultimately, yeah, that was most of the episode. And then Rex coming in and grabbing. And yeah, obviously talked about the clone already. Yeah, that would be most because the next episode continues directly off of this one.
Yeah, it just goes right off of it, so it's almost blends together sometimes. I don't remember.
Yeah. So what would you say this one was for you guys?
Oh, this is fucking up there. I don't
know. So I actually liked.
Disney doesn't want to hear from him. I'm gonna tell you right now, Disney does not like it. If he's gonna say something, as soon as he tries to give a score, he every time he's like, my score would be. They just cut him off. They don't want to hear it. What were you about to say?
I said episode 3 for me was slightly better than this. So I gave it a. Oh, okay. I liked it more. Like
Gary, I thought you were saying faster for some reason. I brain went to
Solitary Clone.
Yeah.
I gave this an 85. Whereas the other one I gave an 86. So.
I would give it a 9.
I would say I'd probably give it pretty close to it, not only because I'm just bleeding the two in together. Like I'm just saying that's a continuation.
Well, remember, we can tell the difference. This one had no Bad Batch, and the other one had.
Yes, and so I would say this is okay. This is like a 9.3, probably down to an 8.9, just because of the implementation of other characters. And the next one is going to go break it back down again because somebody has to do some talking.
So, okay. So now, episode 8, Truth and Consequences. Now, that episode continues directly off of this one, and now we get reintroduced to the Bad Batch, helping Chi-Chi basically bring forth Rampart's actions against the Kaminoans. Sorry.
The start where she meets them. And they all like that pans across.
That was so funny. I don't care.
And they don't say anything, and then like pans down, and Omega's like, "Hello."
So annoying. God,
I don't care. That was really funny. That was really good.
Because what would have happened in real life if I'm having a clandestine effing meeting that we all could die, and I'm looking at these giant clones that are all deformed and weird looking, and I look down there and there's a normal looking girl going hello. I'm like, why is this kid here? Like, what the hell is this? Get her out of here. I don't want her here. And like no one ever says it. They're always like, oh, hello, and they just keep going like it's normal. It's so obnoxious. Stop acting like it's normal. There's a child in the room while we're having serious conversations here.
And she's like within steps of all these big characters, like Palpatine. Even like we're
all living in her shadow at this point.
She has no idea.
So we find out a few things. We find out that we got to go talk to the long giraffe people. There's one left on the.
There's the previous senator, which is interesting. I didn't even acknowledge that they had senators because they were so far off like the grid, right?
Yeah, they didn't exist. So I'm a little confused why they have a senator, but okay, because up until pretty recently they didn't exist. A planet was not in the stars map, but that's fine.
Hello, Colonel.
Nice.
Hello. Yeah, that's adorable. That's cute.
Yeah, I would say one thing. So like that happened, and then the Bad Batch gets sent to go into the ship. I highly enjoyed their infiltration. going in the ship and taking the plans.
Oh, let's slow down. Before you get there, let's talk about the giant elephant turd in the room. Omega is the most educated person in the thing. She knows everything except for dirt. And what else has she never heard of?
Yeah, sorry. We have to go to Coruscant. Coruscant? What's Coruscant?
She's never been educated into the biggest thing around Coruscant.
Capital of the universe, the galaxy. And
she's never asked where the Republic, where the Empire's headquarters are. This has never come up in a conversation.
Told her where the money comes from, right? Where the money stream runs.
That was a little bit. I was like, "What do you mean she doesn't know what that is?" This is never. No one has ever discussed this ever with her.
It's so weird. It's so strange.
It's like you have a child you're in charge of, and they're always getting away from you, okay? Like she does. And you should say this. First thing you should say, on the corner is a bad guy that kids shouldn't go around. We'll leave it at that for YouTube's sake. Whatever you do, if you ever leave the house, never go to the bad guy's house on the corner. So the Bad Batch have never talked to this girl. If something happens and we get separated and you end up on the ship, don't let them take you to Coruscant. You don't want to be... Nah, we never discussed it. No one knows what this is.
So funny.
But yes, I did like the breach. So we know we got to talk to the her, and we also got to. They told the people who were on the ship doing the blasting of their homeland, said, "Oh, it's been recorded. There's the tapes. There's tapes everywhere. You got to go get the tapes."
Yeah, which it's just it's smart, like that they did that. And obviously them infiltrating the place and getting the tape. I really like the escape, them just jettisoning the ship into the ground.
Right.
And usually those are kind of unbelievable, but you have to let us have a little bit. It's Star Wars. A lot of things are unbelievable. But also, like, do you really think someone's going to try to break into a ship? So I didn't think it was, that bad.
On course, like they don't think it was going to invade the capital ship in Coruscant. I was going to do that. But yeah,
it was fun. It was a fun little thing that. And then, they just... the only thing that I would have an issue with that maybe is the constant stuff like ejecting escape pods straight into cement. And everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, everybody okay? Yeah, we're good." And they just take off running again. Like, no one ever has a concussion. Like, no one's ever a little bit woozy. They're like, there we go. Let's go. We're good.
Well, he predicted it with...
He predicted with near odds, perfect odds, that it was going to land next to the hole. They had to go back down.
Yeah. So they obviously accomplished their mission, and they rush it up to the senator.
Yes. So before we bring that, the whole Senate meeting where they're talking about it, and she what's that word? Accuses Rampart of his actions, and he's like, "Well, why would you accuse me of that? That's horrible. I wouldn't do anything like that."
I'm here to agree to all your terms. What I thought was so cool about that, though, is they were discussing what they want. They were like, I'm going to agree to their terms. We're going to say we'll give them whatever they want to. We'll drag it out because the clones are going to be dead anyway, and they'll be long dead before they ever receive a nickel of their pension. I was like, oh, that's dastardly right there. That's awesome. That's pretty dastardly. Like, that was good. I like that one.
Genocide the entire race of people. Not too bad. But taking people's pensions away from the soldiers. You
got to get your down payment. If you have by 60 you're going to be dead. You can't let the government tell you, "Oh, eventually we'll pay you your money." Like, nah, I'm gonna need it up front. You can't. I'm not gonna let you do that to me. You're not gonna give it to me when I'm 59 or something. No. So yeah, she brings him out front, calls him to task, and says, "I accuse you of dastardly deeds." And they have the video up.
Okay, so when that... Okay, wait 1 second. Kachun, you're back to normal now, right?
Yeah, he looks good.
When that video came up, and I was sitting there going, "Okay, it's gonna be cool." And the video came up, and it's just showing the bombardment. I sat there going, I literally got on the edge of my seat when that happened. I was like, "Holy crap!" They actually showed it, and I'm like, "How the hell is this? How the hell are they gonna sidestep this? There's no way they're gonna get this in the hologram deep fake hologram here."
Right.
There's no way. And then when that happens, I was like,
don't give it away. Don't give it away. It'd be easy.
I won't say. Yeah. But I'm like, that was brilliant. I'm like, that was top.
Hold on. And before we say that, though, I want to go back to the witness. because the one thing I would say about that, I thought she was cool. She was like, I'm listen, my people are dead. I'm just here drinking wine, trying to live my best life. I ain't got time for your crap. But here's the part that I thought was weird. Omega walks in. You mean to tell me this person has no idea who the only female, like, natural clone is? She didn't know who that was. Like, she didn't seem stunned at her at all. She was just like, oh yeah, whatever.
Really funny. I was like, I'm a clone too, and she didn't even question it. Like, you're lying to me. You're a woman.
Yeah. And if you didn't know who she was, isn't that surprising that she walked to the door? Wouldn't you be like, oh shit, Omega, what's happening?
So she must have had some inkling before and was already knew what was going on, you know.
The only girl. There you are.
So yes, now that we get there, I made one video because I want to make this video. It's long, and Disney, for the love of all, it's holy. I just thought it was super cool, and it was one of my favorite moments, probably of all Clone Wars. Honestly, this was just brilliant. About 5 seconds into this, I was smiling because I was like, this freaking guy is so amazing at being slick. Like this, the whole thing. And I didn't think they were going to acknowledge it. But after this clip, they were like, that son of a gun set this whole thing up. Like he knew it from the beginning, and he let us do our thing because he knew this was going to happen. Like he let it happen so he can get out of it. And here it goes.
It would appear that Senator Chuchi's horrific assertions are correct. Guards, arrest and detain the Admiral.
Stay back. I was following orders. I was following.
We shall have order.
My gratitude to Senator Chuchi for exposing a rogue element within our ranks. But I assure you, Admiral Rampart will face the consequences for his treachery. The fact that the clones under his command so blindly followed orders, inflicting such carnage without hesitation, gives me pause. It is time for a change. Building a strong galaxy requires protection and security. Due to the nefarious actions of Admiral Rampart, it is my opinion that this legislation is our future. We shall usher in a new era, heralded by the Imperial Stormtrooper.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
So if he had a problem with the clones blindly following him to obliterate those people, what about the clones blindly killing all the Jedi?
I mean, bygones be bygones.
Listen, the Jedi were evil, so that was a totally different situation there.
Yeah.
But it's so good because he's so masterly. He had an scapegoat, a high-ranking scapegoat, so that makes him look bad. So you can't really question it. He's high. He's up there. And then, but what's really concerning is you have this. Listen, the guy's crazy. Okay, he's evil. He's killing poor innocent people. But what really concerns me is the clones turned on their own and without a hesitation, a moment's hesitation, slaughtered their own kind.
I think he was like blown away. I was like, perfection. That's amazing.
There he is. I was wondering if he's going to show up. There he is right there. What? It was what makes me fall in love with the Clone Wars all over again. It was so good. Brilliant. The actor is absolutely amazing. He plays them perfectly. He has that air of he's scary, but at the same time he has, we will have order. And he's like, hey, I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I'm a grandpa, and I just don't understand what's going on here. It's so amazing. It's so great. It was great.
Yeah.
God.
So in with the Stormtrooper.
Out.
Yeah. Disney said there's no out. It's only in. There's no out.
Oh God. Honestly, now the Stormtroopers are now a thing. Honestly, very cool. I really loved it. I thought it was a fantastic change. Like I really loved how he flipped the whole scenario, right? Like still on top, even though.
And I will also say another thing that I think, if you think about it, in like a Game of Thrones trying to, oh yeah, we just talked about him, Tacoma. Yeah, that guy did a great job in this episode.
Yeah, Mazamada did a fantastic job.
Yeah. The other thing it does, the other thing that it does that is like, so it does three things, right? It gives them an excuse to get rid of the clones where no one's going to question it. It gets rid of the Admiral, who probably knows where too many bodies are buried. It still makes him a beloved character. But the third thing that I think it does, which is interesting, it demoralizes some of those fires that we talked about. Because you had somebody who did everything right. She came forward. She got a witness. She got the stolen tapes. She had him dead to rights.
Everything.
And he turned it back on them. And so all those little people who are like, I don't like what the Empire's doing now, are going to hesitate and say, he just got out of this when we had him dead to rights. And I think that's going to be another thing where people are like, man, I don't want to do that, because she's going to drink some poison wine in a couple of months. There's no doubt about it. So I don't want to have anything to do with this. So it was just brilliant. It was a good way, because it demoralized them immediately. When you go back to them, they're like, he got one on us. He knew the whole time what he was doing. He let us do what we did just so he can get his way. No matter what we do, he's always 2 steps ahead. And I thought it was awesome. That was great.
So what's your prediction? Is he going to declare what happens to the clone troopers?
I think, we're going to get into the point where, well, say goodbye to those pensions, boys. You're even getting those pensions now.
This is my take. I think they're going to become dark troopers.
You think they're going to turn all the clone troopers into dark troopers? Interesting idea. Because I was gonna bring up the fact, because I was talking to a friend about basically in Legends what happens is with Kamino, they don't bombard Kamino. What happened when they did was basically the Empire was like, we have too much money in this one place, like we're literally paying them to make the troopers. They have a hold on us. They start getting the stormtroopers, and then Kamino starts raising their own army to defend themselves, and they had the clone revolt, which so they send the 501st in to kill all the clone troopers that Kamino is making and genocide the Kaminoans. They can't make any more. And that's what happens there. But obviously we're not going to get that because they obliterated Kamino already. They genocided them. I wouldn't be surprised if these clone troopers that are remaining, a lot of them start to revolt. And either a revolt happens or they all kind of form an army and run away, and then ultimately we're going to have like a huge death of clones where they fight the Empire at once or something.
Yeah, because they do have a story issue, and I'm sure they know where the landing spot is. Because
Rex has been slowly accumulating certain clones, and obviously by the point we see Rex and Rebels, it's only him and 2 others, right? So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have hundreds of thousands of clones. I'm not really sure how many they have right now, but they have a lot. And you gotta do something with them, and so I'm not 100% sure what they're gonna do with them. It's gonna be,
and you don't have enough stormtroopers yet to take them on. And the other thing is, what's that word? You still have Cody. You still have Cody to resolve if he's dead or not, and that would be a good kind of fitting end where he rallies the troops of the last clones and he starts a revolt. And that's ultimately how he dies. I could see them doing that, and that would be a better end, I think, for him.
Gets all those chips, gets them all out.
Yeah, because again, I'll have another history moment. I'll put my 17 history degrees to work here. What did Spain do after they stopped fighting England? Because now they have a bunch of conquistadors, and the most dangerous thing you can have is have a bunch of retired soldiers walking the streets with nothing to do. It's dangerous. So they sent them all to the New World, and we know the atrocities they committed in the New World, and that's the same situation the Empire would have if they just said, "Okay, we'll just retire them. They're a problem." Well, now you have hundreds of thousands of clone troopers in the streets, and nobody needs that. That's not a good situation, obviously, to have. So they're going to have to do something to do away with them. I don't think they can even wait for them to die off naturally. I think they're going to have some kind of situation, some kind of trumped up thing is going to have to happen to get rid of them.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird because I feel like You don't need to. Like, you could do something with him, like he was saying. You could turn him into something like chip him.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm really curious because like the rest of the season has to involve that, right? Like what's gonna happen with the clones, because ultimately we're gonna get to the point very soon now that where are the clones? Because stormtroopers now they have the name. They weren't just TK troopers that were like the prototype. They are stormtroopers. So legislation's gonna pass, and all
because
that.
I don't think you can say what concerns me. That line to me is the one that is the most telling and the one I'm the most curious about. You can't say it concerns me that they don't seem to have a problem following orders without question, and then say, but we're going to go ahead and let them be the security guard on the side of the street. Until such time they grow old and die. Like, I just don't think you could do that. That doesn't make a lot of sense, I guess.
Yeah, they're going to have to be decommissioned, and either be decommissioned retirement or bullet to the blaster bolt to the back of the head, right? Like,
well, all right.
That's a good point. Is there a kill switch in them? Essentially, Tacoma says.
That would be easy, and I'm sure that's. I mean, well, hell, we can always write that in the plot if we needed to. I mean, let's be honest, but
maybe they all have that tooth.
Oh, yeah. You give them a really tough meal one day at the barracks that they're really chomped down and just kill them. Now, I guess the other thing to bring up for this episode is what happens at the end with Echo, which is very.
Oh yeah. Echo.
I was happy with that decision because, as we know, he has not done much, not contributed much to the group outside of being a lesser version of Hunter and Tech.
Yes, I 100% agree. When it happened, I've been asking for a while now when we do these. What is the point of him? Like, he seems like he's a good character. I like the character. I think he had an awesome, story arc from where they found him and stuff. And I was like, you're kind of wasting his story by just having him there as the like slower, not as grit version of that one. What's up, Mr. Bird? So yeah, he needed to go awake so he can be there. He can be the Echo for the resistance, maybe that's going to pop up for whatever they're doing.
Which makes me a little concerned because obviously he's not around with Rex, so he's going to
die. All right, so final thing we're going to say is what episode score you have on this one.
Continue, you go first.
87, best one.
All right. Canadian, what do you got?
I would probably put it about the same as 9. It's hard to say because it has a really good moment. You know what? 9.5. I give it. The Echo stuff didn't bother me, the Omega stuff didn't bother me because she was just there. She wasn't active in the plot. She just said, a stupid line here or there, but we're
people too. We live in this universe too. That was a little annoying. It was a little annoying.
No, she's there. That's it. She's there, but she was not annoying to the plot. She wasn't involved in the plot wise. She wasn't bothering the plot.
Yeah.
So she was just there. She hanging out with Chuchi. Oh, sorry. There is one thing that's really fucked up. I have to bring up the fact that she walked up right into Rampart. Rampart looked at her, talked, and did not even acknowledge the fact that this was the person.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a really that was a lot. That was this episode. Yeah.
And by the look on her face, she knew he was a bad man.
She's looking at him just staring at him like angry, and he's just looking at her like, "What the hell is her problem?" Sorry.
All right. So yeah, I would say mine would be like a 9. It would have been way higher just from that last scene that we just saw alone. I would be a sucker for a moment, but then there's some other things that bother me. So I'd say like a 9. Like the last two are high 8s, low 9s for sure, all day long, just because of that. Like that Emperor scene alone is something that I think that you could probably watch that clip a few times on YouTube for the next couple of years. Like I don't have an issue with that. It's gonna be
up there. It's gonna be with the Kenobi scene with him versus Anakin. Like it's gonna be just a rewatchable clip. Easy.
All right, so I think that's it. Are we good for the review on that?
So I would say the first half was interesting. Yeah.
All right.
One line that made me laugh out loud. Chuchi asks Omega, "Can you keep a secret?" You remember she says that?
Yeah.
I burst out laughing because no, she cannot.
The answer is no, absolutely not.
God. Yeah. No. All in all, I hope the next episode and the rest carry on much better. I have not watched. Obviously, we have not watched the next episode, but I will say it's called The Crossing, and the little brief description Disney Plus gives is called "The team tackles a risky mission on a hostile world." That can go any which way. So we.
It's not gonna be good. I'm gonna turn it out. All I need to hear was team. That's all I need to hear.
Could be Dagobah.
So yeah, that would be it. Now on to our slides. Obviously, it's just news and new comic book day. So
let's see.
Alright.
Nice.
Now this is for Mr. Craig here.
Hold on.
So part of the
we gotta use them all. And by the way, anybody who's still watching, you shut up, you sit up straight, and you respect this man right now. You look at your screen. You look at your screen.
The Gamorreans you're talking about, right? You're talking about the Gamorreans?
All right.
So
that's fine too, but what do we have here?
So for the 40th anniversary, so they had the one-shots for Jabba, for Ewoks, and now they have Lando. The 3 one-shots they're doing for the Return of the Jedi. And Lando, the A cover's on the left, and the B cover's on the right.
I like both of those covers. Those are both cool. I like both of them.
Yeah. And you'll see in a second, when you go to the next panel, that's the 3 covers actually combined.
There it is.
Oh, look at your boy.
Yeah, my boy, Rebo. And the Ewoks cover. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. I'm not paying the $6 a piece for them, but that looks pretty cool.
You pay the
$10
$10
$40 worth of comics right there.
The first over the shoulder guy. There he is.
It's weird though. It is weird seeing this like in the future. Jabba's palace makes sense, right? But if I'm like, I give this to my grandkids, they're gonna say Ewoks. That's gonna be like weird. And then it's like Lando. What in the world? Like I'm so confused about this show you like.
None of those guys are Ewoks in the band. So here's a photo. So
what is this, Toy Story?
So this was anyways, this is the first still from that Young Jedi Adventures. This is like for 4-year-olds, okay? So
it is. My only saving grace is it's supposed to be literally for kids who barely know how to speak.
So there's 3 things. There's 3 things to note. It's obviously this is High Republic, which is fun. Yoda looks funny. 2, look at the BT droid. That's kind of like got big shoes. And then what is
ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Old Wolf. What's happening, man?
Hey. And lastly, what the hell is that species? What is that teddy bear? That's not an Ewok, is it?
What is
it? It kind of looks like an Ewok. It looks like a blue Ewok. I'm gonna be honest with you. That looks like a blue Ewok.
Are they all Padawans? What's going on there?
Well, they don't have the.
Oh, Wolf said this is the show for him. Perfect, right in the middle of that demographic, right there. Yeah. So anyway, it's supposed to be like super duper young, like
really for toddlers and preschool kids. It's literally that.
What was in the background? Did you see what was in the background?
What is that?
No, just
Dantooine, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
some building.
It's hard to see.
So Empire Magazine released their magazine for April, and it was Star Wars focused for Mandalorian season 3. So you have Mando, Din Djarin, Grogu, and Bo-Katan on the cover. And
I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at this. This one over on the right here. I'm not mad at that.
Well, yeah, the one on the right is an exclusive cover. Yeah. So sorry, my mistake. I talked about the middle one being. So the middle right is actually the second row. Third column is Bo-Katan, actually.
There's no Sabine's not on there. She's not on there.
Yeah, Sabine's not there. It's because the issue is the what's that? What do they call the her Bo-Katan's group? The Night something? Can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember
their name. The sisters?
Oh, the Night Sisters? No.
Oh no, they have a Death Watch, but they have a specific one for like. the females.
Oh,
good job on the prep for the show, boys. That's fine. That's
Of course, it's
fantastic.
very important.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
That's what the owls.
Boba Fett's there. Boba Fett's in the bottom right.
Yeah, it's because night owls. That's what it is. Night owls. Because basically,
thank God the fourth member shows up. He did some pre-show.
Thank you. Yeah, the night owl design helmet is very similar to Sabine. So like,
hey, I read a random, just off topic. I read a random article one time that there's a whole group of people on Facebook who are deathly afraid of Teddy Ruxpin and think that that's like demons are in it. Like this, I swear, they really do believe that.
There is
though.
Like, there is though.
It's a conspiracy theory or something. It's amazing. I love humans. Humans come from all shapes and sizes. They're the best.
Yeah. So very, very short on news this week, honestly. Yeah, so for new comics, we have Star Wars issue 31, a cover on the left, and on the right is one of the variants.
Not excited, even though they got my man Lando. That not exciting covers right there. You're not getting my eye candy on these two.
Where did you see the variants?
What's the spikes? Like, who's that again?
Don't know. But
it's the guy that controls the gate at Oz. That's sweet. I didn't know he was going to be.
So yeah, the action figure cover on the left. In the middle is the Return of the Jedi, and the right is the Black History Month variant with
what's his name?
Donald Glover's version.
Oh, that lady has more class than to show up in this stream. Are you serious?
Oh yeah, she's got better things to do.
She has way more class than to come and watch this.
He doesn't know much about Star Wars.
Oh my God. And what an open mouth here. Hello. Excuse me. Give me a warning before we start making out. Oh my
God.
gosh.
We have someone smooching. Yeah, the A cover Bounty Hunters 31 on the left. A really good cover, honestly. The middle is the Return of the Jedi variant, and on the right, the Black History Month with a new character introduced in the Bounty Hunter series. Lieutenant Jayla Hayden.
Yeah, she looks cool.
Yeah, has kind of cybernetics in her eye as well.
Who did those covers? Are they all the
same? Now on, don't you ever correct me again. He will be known as the purple guy character from now on. That is all that's happening.
Yeah. Same artist, Skatoon. I could not remember the name.
I don't think so. I think that's like a star or some kind of thing. I don't think she's holding a lightsaber. She just has some kind of flash behind her.
And Leia's sucking what's left of his life out of him.
Yes, she is taking the life force energy out of that man right now.
That's funny.
We're gonna know why they didn't spend a lot of time together and the other things because of that right there. She kept sucking his life force away. That's weird. I can't take my eyes off that. I'm about to buy that just so I can keep staring at it.
And then for Bounty Hunters again. Volume 5 released called The Raid on the Vermilion.
Oh, they used the Revelations.
Oh, you were going there. I was actually trying to answer your questions and you were going there, which is brilliant and amazing. I'm over here trying to be like, oh, I don't think so. I think it's just a glint from the window she's in. He's like, no, the other lightsaber.
The other lightsaber.
That's awesome.
Lightsaber. God. Yeah, this covers issues 23 through 27 of Bounty Hunters. And yeah, very simple. And that would be everything there.
What is that?
It's a meme.
It's a meme. The prequel trilogy because he loves democracy. It worked out the way he wanted it to.
Come on.
Couldn't find a Gaga related one, so
all right, I think that's it. I think that covers the show. We got your comics, your news. Yeah. Luckily, no teasing me with toys, so that's fantastic.
You're lucky this week.
Maybe not, dude. I thank everybody for hanging out. Next week, we're back on to our character spotlight. Do we know who we're doing?
Mm-hmm. I have an idea. I won't reveal it here, but I have an idea.
Ooh. Yeah, we wouldn't want to have any reason for anybody to show up next week. Let's not do that.
No. So it's suspense. Every Wednesday we're here at 8:30.
Hold on, we got a very important. Yeah, right, very important. Did you ever make popcorn out of that thing?
We never have.
We never have.
Not one.
Not yet.
Not even
Not
once.
yet.
When they eventually release a Star Wars movie and we do a review of the movie, we'll make
okay.
That,
so the next time they make a movie, we'll fly to Georgia and we'll all have popcorn out of that thing. We'll watch it together.
All right.
No,
we'll set it up.
Disney, the thing, Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh yes, so we
can have our reactions while eating popcorn from the popcorn machine.
Sure. You're all invited.
If we make it to December.
Let me tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to go to the door. I'm going to knock on the door. I'm going to hear a female voice go, "Are you freaking kidding me? Why?" And then that's it. Now nobody will come to the door. Like nobody will open the door. All right. Well, we'll see what happens next week. Every Wednesday, 8:30, right? 8:30 Eastern time. 7:30 God's time. Ladies and gentlemen, always watch the Bounty Hunters. Get your Star Wars fill. And we'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming.